rankings that has dates, yada yada yada, and also has information on the rounds, and it's actually really nice to see ours there. There's that. Then we have the grand round open. We have one protocol here. We have received just one opening. Let me see what else. And yeah, I'm going to post the announcement. Yada 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 yada. Okay, cool. Um, that's on the updates. Now on reviewing grants. So we've had 3 requests here, 3 support requests here, and I'll go one by one. This annual initiative, like TLDR, is seems like some sort of legal wrapper, I think, um, on sort of the region side of things. We're going to schedule a call, but well, I'm going to say my opinions for the last part. Then there's the token launch simulator grant from Blockboy. I think he's from Bangladesh. And for some reason he left the server after posting this idea. Anyways, I did DM him because I think it's really interesting. The caveat is that it is barely early stage, like it's not even started, and so we have to talk a bit more about that in a second. And then there's this one from Greedy. He's actually a fairly active member of the TE community. Like he's been on some workshops and all that for quite some time around the academy, and has like this auctions market with even some research. And so I guess the thing here is, where do we draw the line on those things? Because for example, the other initiative, personally, I don't think it's that interesting or should be accepted into our route. Hey Marathon Man, how's it going? Just because
I thought the color was not there.
sorry.
So I thought it was cancelled or something. I was waiting for some time and then I didn't check. Yeah, hey, you please carry on. Yeah.
No worries. Well, we're just going through some of the support requests / applications we've had so far, and just talking about them and see if how do we think about them. So for example, this one, um, let me even open the web page. Um, you know, it uses blockchains and all of that, but doesn't seem like um, it's like pure token engineering. You know what I mean? Like they certainly use it. Um, in some senses, um, seems something similar to the commons stack, in the sense of like they want to help communities solve issues with blockchain. But I don't know if that's enough to qualify. And if that's enough to qualify, then we sort of should be prepared for a bunch of initiatives that are kind of similar, just projects that try to solve stuff with blockchain um, to apply. That's the first one. I don't know if we should go one by one, or if I should say like what I think about each of one, and then we sort of talk about all of them.
I think we can go through each one and then kind of talk about them all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Anu. Then the other one is the Token Simulator Grant, and so this one, I think it's actually pretty cool. Um, so it's a simulator interface similar to probably ours or the common stacks, based on the QTM model from Outlier Ventures. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Um, and so yeah, pretty interesting, pretty cool. The only thing is that um, it's not even started, and so it's a bit tricky, because um um like let me see. He said specifically, here's the current plan. Not going to lie right now, it is mostly just an idea, but with funding I believe I could hire and do some work myself, and it should be relatively low effort build with the potential for high impact on the community. Say we accept them and they just get, I don't know, $500. 500 bucks is not enough to I don't think it's enough to hire anyone. And so it's like, do we accept a project such in an early stage when probably when there's a chance they may just spend the money on whatever because it's not enough to execute. um what I personally suggested is that I said that that was something that we really wanted because I think it's honestly pretty cool, but that and I encouraged him to apply, um and to try to include as much information about him, like track record or something, uh, just to see if he has like enough of experience or whatever to for us to consider that that's sort of realistic, or the yeah, realistic, I guess we could say. Hey Joseph, how's it going?
Sorry, I'm late. I got caught in heavy traffic on the way home from a family member. So sorry, I'm late, but I'm here now.
No worries, it's fine. We are just going through a few of the grants, or I guess feedback requests we've had so far, and we have to, and some of them are a bit tricky, so we are just kind of talking about them and see what we do. Okay, so that's the token launch simulator, and then watch over, same. So I didn't read much about watch over, but it seems like just a crypto market, an actual market. Let's see. And so and he has a research paper which is currently behind a password, so I couldn't see it. um and yeah, I guess I don't know what to do about that one specifically, because it's like, is the money going to go towards the product itself? Like, did you just want funding for your product, or you're like doing continue to do research or something like that? And that's what I asked, like, uh, I asked him to say like how is he planning to use the funds, and how does he think that that project specifically contributes to tech engineering overall. Um, and I guess just to go through all of them, then there's the abundance protocol. Thank you. Bruh, what's this? Um, I don't know. Seems to be pretty early. Has 18 months. Has only received $5,000, and they propose a novel proof of impact consensus mechanism that aims to comprehensively solve the problem of public goods. And so, on a personal note, I'm like on the fence. It's like, is this token engineering just because it's using a blockchain, or is 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 like solving the problem of public goods something that we want to, like, broadly speaking, of course, is that something that we want to fund, or that I don't know, whatever. Let's open that up.
Yeah, this is really tough. I think, and this might come back to the fact that we probably need to be a little bit more precise in what were the requirements for eligibility, because I do think that because yeah, at the end of the day, like, advancing public goods, it's a good thing. We're value aligned behind it. I don't think it should be a problem, but it's also not centered on token engineering specifically. I think when it comes to these projects, I'm keep reading the Watchtower. It's a really cool idea, and it looks like they have a good team and they'll be able to execute. But also, like, what exactly that are you building that is advancing the field of token engineering, whether it be from a mechanism standpoint to education standpoint. our focus needs to be on the field of token engineering, and I think maybe the outcome that we need to have is saying, hey, you need to have something that contributes to this field in particular, and not to your overall product. If there's something that it contributes to your overall product and contributes to the field of token engineering, a new mechanism, new design, whatever it may be, new smart contract design, I think it's a good to go. And then on the flip side, you have the something that is very token aligned, but is just basically an idea paper. I wouldn't even call it a white paper. It's just kind of here's an idea on it. I wouldn't mind funding that if there was more detailed about how the outcomes that they want to develop. So it's like, I'm going to provide this particular thing. Here's a smart contract that facilitates a token launch or a simulated token launch, or Python code that allows it to be simulated. I really do think that man, it is tough, Isaac.
Yeah.
But I do think that we have to be pretty specific about the token engineering aspect of it. So how does this advance the field of token engineering? If they have a legitimate answer for that, I think we allow them to pass, and then let the community decide. Um, but they should have something well articulated about how it advances the field of token engineering or contributes to token engineering public goods. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I'll pass to anybody who wants to
Can I
comment.
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment on the back of that. Would that then mean that, let's say for example, like the project that Isaac just showed us, would it be a case of us having to prove, or the onus would be on us to like find like, okay, this has already been done in the space. How does this benefit on the model that's already been out there? Is that the type of thing that you're talking about, Nate, with regards to actually bettering or furthering the field or whatever they're trying to accomplish?
I mean, in all honesty, a lot of these functions may be already being developed or have already been developed, but that's not really, if they have a team of people who are working on token engineering in general, I don't think it matters whether it's been done or not before. I think they'll have their own flavor, their own taste on things, and might have their own energy and whatever to drive it forward. And could create something new out of it, which is great. But it's got to be token engineering focused. If it's not token engineering focused, then I can't see us approving it.
Yeah, one great way to think about it is like, for example, we cannot fund the token engineering department of a company or of a project, say, but let me see if I can find it. One good example is Aragon block science conviction voting Gitcoin. Let me see. I can find it because this is this. Let me see. Okay, well, this is set as a bounty, but this is really a grant. For example, this was one grant from One Hive, Cat and Block Science to research conviction voting. The three of these all these projects, especially say Block Science alone, wouldn't be able to apply because they are a private company, and One Hive wouldn't be able to apply either because they are product based, and they don't necessarily, like, the funds wouldn't necessarily go towards token engineering itself. But this initiative per se is just research based, which I guess meets our criteria. Then if we come here, for example, to this one, and assuming that even if it's a cool design or whatever, the money is going to go towards product development, growth, things like that, instead of going towards research, public research, or education, or tooling. Like, that's what we have on our criteria. I think we probably shouldn't. So I guess that's kind of the question, right? So, like, um just ensure that, and just ensure us that the money will go, or that you commit to, I don't know, making public all your all systems and things like that. I don't know how, I don't know, but sort of not on that line.
Yeah, and then on the other side of things, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to reject everybody, like it's kind of being the first one, that's the only other aspect of it. So yeah, Barry, you had something to say, sorry.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, I think it's a really tricky and complicated issue. And I think one of the biggest parts or reasons for that, it also comes to play like the definition of actually what token engineering is. And I go back to this because it's even like the arcing question for like the stakeholder study that Levi is leading. That's the actual question, right? And I think that's a clear sign of how in the space, even within token engineering, the answer is still not clear. So if the answer is still not clear for that people, I think it's going to be even less clear for new projects that might be hearing the concept of token engineering for the first time, right? So trying to align them into the actual definition of token engineering and its mechanisms, tooling, research, education, I think it's going to be some sort of a challenge. Yeah, I think we can do our best to, I agree with Nate, to be as precise as we can in the requirements. Maybe one of the things that we could use is this idea of public goods, right? Maybe we don't base the analysis so much in token engineering, but in a public good, or being like open source, or being like transparent and not like privately owned, right? I think that could be a really big eligibility requirement that we could consider more than the purely token engineering aspect of things. Because yeah, it's difficult. It's like Isaac was saying with the first one, like the annual one. Is it because the project uses blockchain already a valid one to consider as a token engineering project? I don't know, right? I mean, that's the reality. I don't have an answer for that, because I think it could be understood from different ways depending on who you ask. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a hard time reviewing and accepting and deciding which projects are accepted based just on that. So if we go back to the requirements, yeah, I think public goods, that could be a bigger one to focus on. Maybe we can elaborate a little bit more on this idea of if it's an idea, or if it's a more consolidated project, or if it's in a certain stage, then it has greater chances to be approved. But yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts right now.
I'll have to. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that from the project's perspective, like they're really just wanting to get on the board. I think the criteria stuff is based off of like whether we're going to offer matching, and I don't know if it's possible to have to accept everyone and then just say you qualify for matching and you don't, based off of these criterias. Like, is that a possible feature for that?
Yeah, say again.
So instead of like filtering who gets on the board, the token engineering grant board, we'd rather the criteria applies to the actual matching. And since we're doing the matching manually, like, would it be okay to say let's accept all of these and say, but you don't qualify for matching, or you do qualify for matching, and make sure that it's labeled somehow? I don't know if that's a possibility, because really all these projects want to do, especially the like the new one, they just want to get on the board and see if anybody donates to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the matching is what the criteria should be applied to.
I mean, technically we can do that. guess. There's no way we can sort of signal that on the interface because we don't have control over it. And then I guess it is also a general problem of user experience and also perception, because that's not the way it works. And from the, I think, around 8 rounds that are going to be open, it's going to be pretty confusing if we are the ones to accept everyone and then just say, hey, not none of you, or well, most of you won't get matching. But also, so that's, I guess, experience on the platform side, but also perception of the TEC. I think, especially for this one, it's really important that we get the execution right, and I don't think accepting everyone is sort of a good look.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
And something I was going to say too, for example, about Bear's comment on public goods, I I have to sort of disagree, because the issue is that if we base everything on public goods and open source, we essentially have to take everything, because that's everything. And like for example, this one, that one grant about abundance protocol, which seems like some sort of uh, well, says proof of impact or whatever, then we have to take. Do you know how many proof of impact stuff there is, or how many region impact there is? And like all of them are open source and public goods. But if we accept them, we probably have to be okay with accepting all the similar ones, which I don't know if we are, but probably not, or at least not in every category that sort of overlaps with public goods and open source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying like to only use the criteria of public goods. What I'm saying is, and to accept everyone. I'm just saying like to maybe try to give it a greater weight to that public good. You still need to comply with the token engineering aspect of things, right? Because that's the whole purpose of the round. But maybe as this line of token engineering, it's a little blurry, a little confusing. Maybe we could be a little bit more flexible in that sense, but in public good, be a little bit more rigid. That's kind of my thought, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and this is really about telling the people in the support channel before they submit their official, grant funding, not whether they're approved or not, but saying, hey, if you want to be approved, it needs to come from a token engineering perspective. So if you have, a satellite tracking device, what about token engineering are you focusing on with these funds? What are the outcomes that you're going to have? Because at the end of the day, even a token engineering focused grant could take the money and not produce an outcome. So like when it comes to just saying applying for it, like perhaps we can just tell them that, say, hey, focus on what you're actually doing with token engineering to get to your outcome. And I think that's more, tangible than just saying, hey, I'm building satellite tracking devices. But in what way are you using token engineering to do that?
And just pretty quickly to support that, I think another thing we could do is maybe provide some resources for people to read and understand a little bit better what token engineering is, at least what we have available. Because I do have this strong feeling that probably most of people don't know what it is. So they just assume that because it says probably token, and they have a token, or they want to have a token, or basically anything related with Web3, they can apply and they are eligible to apply. So maybe we can, as part of this support or as part of this guidance, provide them with some resources for them to get a clearer idea of what token engineering is and what's expected from them on that front. I think that could be helpful for projects.
I think just to interject, just to build off what Bear was saying, I think some examples as well of what we would consider as token engineering projects would help a lot, because for example, just saying, oh, this is what we define as token engineering or whatever the case is. For some people might not be enough and could be down to interpretation. But if we can say projects like, and then we can pick maybe 3, 4, 5 that we consider as proper token engineering projects that we would have liked to invested in, can give like a benchmark, if that kind of makes sense, to the projects that we're actually kind of looking for. I think that will help a lot to kind of buffer, or like, make our point a bit stronger.
Yeah, I agree. I just made very quickly one page on the portal that's like, how do I know if I'm a token engineering project? If anyone has any links or anything, feel free to add them there, and I'll give it a bit of format later. Anything else about these cases, or are we good to go? I have the sense that a lot of this is also going to be communication, because I know even Gitcoin, that has a lot of experience, a lot of time running these grants, it spends a bunch of time talking with grantees just to find out the details of the projects, so that they are not left out. And so we have to be prepared to do the same.
Yeah, that was also like another question. It's more of a question that I wanted to ask of, how willing are we to go through that process of talking with each individual project, and like setting up a call to get to know them and review their documentation and provide feedback. And I think this process, although it's probably gonna be really, really good for them, it might also be time consuming and in a way also a little expensive for us, right, to do. So like how far should we go in terms of this interaction with projects? I think that something that could really help is like I don't know how to handle it, but maybe making the requirements more visible, or more, maybe there's like a checklist for projects to go through it, and they can just like check mark every requirement before asking for support. Because what I'm afraid of is that if like it's been a day since we started this and we already have like 4 or 5 projects, if we start having more and more projects, I think there's a risk that we won't be able to manage all the requests for support and feedback. So because like these projects, right, most of them are just saying, hey, can you check on what I have? Is this good enough for the project? I think we could maybe put some sort of filter before they ask for support, that they can just do themselves, right? That they can compare with the actual requirement. I don't know, something in relates with that.
I actually think we should do whatever it takes with every single project, for multiple reasons. First one, just like you said a few minutes ago, if the token engineering community itself isn't clear about the definition of token engineering, then how we cannot expect everyone to be in quite frankly, the best way to sort of have everyone clear is to have a conversation. Then, because it is our first round, it's critical that we make all the sacrifices needed to have this be as good and smooth as possible, because the our ability to fundraise money, which is going to be very important for the next rounds, is going to depend a lot on how good we execute this first one. And this can potentially be one of the biggest source of income for both the TEC and the token engineering community overall. Because this is something we were going probably to talk about later. but with time we are going to ask for projects that sponsor this round. We're going to ask for like a surplus to cover the expenses of running these rounds, and so hopefully all of the salaries and costs associated with this round won't have to rely at all on the common pool. And so again, very important that the execution of this first round is like the best we can do. And then I don't think it's going to be that expensive or that hard. Like, well, first, it's also important because the only way we can sort of prepare information, have new information, and build like a really good FAQ and all of that for the next round is if we are very very involved in this one. And then for the next one, we can have more information for those people to not have to ask those questions. That's something. And then to be able to handle this, what we can do later, maybe Tuesday, something like that, is to maybe prepare a few like standard messages, standard questions that we can make on the chat, and have a calendar or set like we can set like office hours. We can set like one-on-ones that just last 15 minutes so that we don't spend a lot of time on each one, and have like a set process more or less where we exchange a few messages in just one call, let's say, and we cannot spend more time on any grantee, for example. And yeah, and with that, I think we should be fine overall.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. I mean, there's no question on what you mentioned before. I mean, I totally agree on the involvement and on the importance of this project. It's more about that, like how personalized, how much time are we willing to do it. So just kind of like bringing more clarity towards that, right? And I think with what you just said, I think that makes sense. It was just a matter to bring it to attention and to bring clarity to that.
Okay, yeah. I have one last question before we move on to the next topic, which is the advisory committee. I really haven't made much progress in that sense. But I think I've mentioned it before. The idea would be probably to just, ask Griff and Angela and maybe one or two folks more to have a private chat here on Discord, probably, just to be able to ask these questions and have some feedback, and maybe even we can have like I don't know, we can make it asynchronously, or maybe we can have one or two calls to go through these matters. Um, any comments about that? Is that fine if I go ahead and do that? Do you think there's like very specific people I should ask, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should do it, and sooner the better. Griff and Angela, maybe Tam, Livia, and see if we can get some good advice on that small group, and then move on from there. I think once we get advice, we have to make a decision and move forward. But clarity on the eligibility requirements is probably our biggest priority.
Someone else unmuted? Okay, better go ahead.
Yeah, I agree as well. Yeah, completely. The only thing is, so you would consider like an extra call or like another moment instead of just the Tuesday's call for this?
I mean, we can like, I don't know. I think it should be more on the private side to review these things, but it can be on the same time slot than the Tuesday call. I was just, talking out loud. Maybe it's talking, maybe it's asynchronously.
DM, just a group message, and just see if we can just talk it out.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Just maybe like a group chat, and if it's needed, then we can use a call.
Okay. Okay, so Griff, Angela, maybe Tam and Livia, and I'm thinking I could maybe ask Jeff if he wants to be in there. He doesn't check messages that much, to be honest, but I don't know. Maybe good to have um, an actual practitioner, in there. Is that cool? 5? Yep. Okay.
Sounds good.
Um,
I would say like Jeff, or you can reach out to YGG as well.
okay. Cool. All right. Um, okay, let's move on. So now we have a session for communications um, that Nate and I think Bear prepared. So I'm going to pass it on to you guys. If either of you can take notes in the meantime, I'm just going to send out the tweet right now. So I need a few seconds.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and give an overview of this kind of work session that we're going to do today. Really, it's just going to be kind of quick. We have an hour to do this, but the idea is that we're going to start with our comms working session with Twitter communications. This is all about the external communications that we have. And Jay Henney, you're going to be kind of a big part of this. And so um, the idea here is that I'm going to have a Medium article that I'm going to write today for us to be using as kind of the kind of a landing page for everything that we need. It's going to include links to our Notion guidelines, everything to know about the grants. We're going to write it out. But in order to do that, we're going to break into the, breakout rooms, if that's okay with everybody. And all I really need for this section here is just information on the Allo protocol. If Isaac, if you're willing to do that solo, and then all the information that donors might need, all the information that projects might need. And the idea is just like, let's list everything that might be needed out for these things. And this will kind of inform how we create the content around the tweets below. And so this is gonna we'll take about 10 minutes starting at the top of the hour to do that, and then we'll come back, meet up again, and then we'll have the this is new, and we'll do that after. But the second part is scheduling the tweet content. Joseph, I kind of broke these down into to the proposal phase and the donor phase, depending on the actual dates. Um, we need to set your Twitter schedule. Go ahead and start putting in like one thing I want you to think about is like, where do these belong on each day? So we have a tweet, maybe once a day, maybe of different types. We'll have proposal submission types. So this is kind of like, hey, if you're wanting to submit a proposal, this is how you do it. Here's a link to our Medium article. Here's general information about the Allo protocol. This is kind of a promotional kind of Gitcoin TEC collaboration on the beta. Then we have our AMA promotions. So this is for the AMAs that we're going to have. We need to set dates for that. And then we have to have tweets for AMA summaries. So like after the AMA, we want to have a summary of what we went over. So these are all the types of tweets that we have under the schedule/tweet content. And that's for the proposal phase. Then we also have our donor phase. So this is basically once all the proposals have been submitted, we want to kind of highlight the proposals that are in our round. So if we can have tweets that kind of figure out exactly what proposals are up there, kind of give them a little bit of background, tag their project on Twitter, and maybe get, this is kind of that donor outreach, get their community built around it, and see if we can get some people to actually fund it. And then outreach to donors. This will include like things like how to donate on Gitcoin. Kind of giving them informational aspects of it, and then of course the TEC boosts. Announcing snapshot dates, how it's going to work, what you need to have, what are the requirements. And so each of these things will craft, and then if we can get the Medium article information and these tweets done today, as well as setting the dates for those tweets, I think this is going to be really, really important. So, do you have the dates, Jay Henney?
A very quick comment. I think we should not post the snapshot date. I think we should pick something pseudo random and not let everybody know. Just protection.
Okay, so but do we want to go ahead and establish when we are going to do the snapshot date to give people enough time to actually purchase TEC and direct them how to?
I mean, we can talk about it, but I don't think it's top priority because we can always do that after the round when we have less things to do.
Okay, that sounds good. So, yeah, and so we can do that retroactively, right?
Yeah, because we can the round ends 9th. We can take the snapshot for any block prior to the 9 at any point in time after the 9. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense then. So yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll go through each of these and try to craft a tweet for each of them. Are you guys okay with doing breakout rooms?
I'm just going to ask very quickly because I'm a bit distracted. So what is exactly what we are going to do?
First thing we're going to do is this content Medium article. So basically, just list all the information that we need for the Allo protocol, all the information that donors might need, all the information that projects might need. And so we just want to just kind of brainstorm for like 5 to 10 minutes to get all the information that we need. And if you want to list it in this Notion, we can do that. Are you able to write in here, Bear?
Yeah, not right now because of the recording. If I open Notion, my computer just freaks out. So that'd be a little bit of a challenge. And I was gonna just suggest, I don't know if it would make sense just to do it like all together instead of the breakout rooms for the brainstorming. I don't think we are many people, so maybe it's possible. I don't know what you think, Nate.
That's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the introduction to the Allo protocol. I'll keep this open, and all we're looking for here is just kind of what critical pieces of information do we need about the Allo protocol to teach both projects and donors about what the Allo protocol is and all that good stuff. So general information, grant protocol. So this is their beta, right?
The beta round, yes.
Beta round.
And well, just a quick parenthesis. I have just tweeted the announcement, so if y'all can take just 1 second, doesn't have to be now to retweet it and whatnot. Very much appreciated. And I went ahead and pinned it to our Telegram, to our Twitter as well. So that's now the pinned tweet.
Nice. So do we know how many other projects are doing the beta round as well?
Yes. So 1 second. So of course, besides Gitcoin, it's ourselves. Is Super Modular, which is the other company that Owoki funded. Then there's the DeSci Community Stewards, which seems to be like a new organization sort of. Then Mask Network, Plurality Labs, which is from Joe, the guy that ran the FDD team at Gitcoin. There's one that's called Greater China, but that doesn't say who runs it. And then there's one from Coinbase.
Okay. All right. And then and everybody's on the same dates, right? Roughly.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, they should.
Okay. Is there anything else that we can explain to our audience about the Allo protocol that you think is important?
So well, they have to have money on mainnet, because like the other platform, there's only one checkout per chain. Um, what else? A new platform, so just I guess be aware that things look a bit differently. Be sure to have your passport on point. Hey Griff, what's up?
GM, just seeing if I can help.
Cool. Yeah, we're going through some communication stuff now. We went through a few questions. Maybe I can send them to you later for some projects that have already asked for feedback and we aren't sure how to go about them. Cool. And give me passport and well, I mean, is this article sort of targeted at donors or projects?
It's going to be for both. So this is going to be kind of our comprehensive like landing page. It's going to connect to both the guidelines and all the information that we have on our Notion page. But this is just kind of a container for our tweets. So if we have each of our tweets that we focus on, proposal submissions, general information, our proposal highlights, we can always just keep sending this article out. That way people can just have something to refer to rather than having to look for a particular tweet or anything like that. So this is just kind of a container for everything.
I think coming from someone that may not be like familiar, like this is my first time kind of doing this type of stuff. I think the introduction to like what is Allo protocol, like why did we choose it? If that kind of makes sense, just a brief thing on that, because like some people may not even know what it is, and even like how to use it or what it's even used for. So just a brief description of what is Allo protocol, and how it can help the funds.
Yeah, and to add on to that, maybe even just a small description about the Gitcoin, right? I think also there might be new people that don't know what it is. I resonate with what Joseph said, that at the beginning I didn't know what it was, so I think that could bring a lot of clarity as well.
Very quickly too, they are using the they're referring to all of these more as ground stack than to Allo protocol. I still don't know what's up with their nomenclature, but they seem to be using ground stack more. So probably we should do as well. There's some other things, like for example, donors or more specific stuff. So for example, donors must have money on mainnet, but projects can create their grants on Optimism and apply on mainnet so that they save on gas, so that they don't have to pay gas on Ethereum to make their grant application. I did that for one project yesterday, so it works perfectly.
Are there any other ways they can do it? Just Optimism?
In Phantom, but I don't know. Yeah, it's there.
I think that type of information should go in the individual sections for all information that donor needs and all information that project needs. Mainly because, actually, you know what, you can actually say here, but definitely do repeat in those sections, because I think like a flow chart for how someone actually applies will be like a mini roadmap. Like, okay, you go to this bit, or like these are the different ways that you can apply, and have like a flow chart for the different ways you can apply, and then that way it will make it clear to everyone how can someone actually do it, the steps that they might need to take, whether there's 10 steps, 15 steps, or whether there's like 3 ways of doing it. And so a flow chart would definitely, for people wanting to for people that want to propose, and also for donors that want to actually get involved.
Yeah, and I can put
And also
those
the dates.
right now. We're just kind of for the information that we need. So we're going to focus on donors right now. So what are some information that donors might need? So we have donations made on mainnet, process and flowchart.
The passport.
Coins, the actual tokens that they can actually use to actually, whether it's all tokens or specific, whether they, and this is where whether you, if you hold TEC, then that type of information is definitely need.
That's a good question. It's just Ether and DAI. I just added there.
Thank you.
What about also? I know that they use like the Explorer page within the protocol. I don't know if there are any other pages that donors use. You probably know this better, Isaac.
Yeah, it's just Explorer. So the manager is for grant operators, the Explorer is for donors, and the builder is for grantees. So yeah, Explorer for donors. We probably want to both link to our portal, grants portal, and also Gitcoin's knowledge base, which has way more information, of course.
All right, and let's do projects.
Um,
Apply on boxes and Phantom and mainnet.
they should seek for feedback before applying, because they cannot change it afterwards. What else? I don't know. I think it's pretty straightforward. There's like small details like the size of images and things like that, but what? I don't know.
I think also dates, well, obviously self-explanatory, but definitely having the dates of when stuff's going on, the rounds, when they can apply, when's the last time they can donate. Yes, things like basic information.
What Bear was telling earlier, like what is token engineering and what does mean by advancing in token engineering? If that could also be there.
And
Yeah,
what about the application page? Is there anything that we need to tell them about the questions that we derived in the protocol yesterday?
I mean, I don't think none of those is like, well, in our case, we can have like a small disclaimer. We rather have people use an externally owned address as the payout address instead of a multisig, because we are going to be paying in another chain.
All right.
Eligibility.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Eligibility criteria.
Yeah. I think this section would be a good one to go into a little more detail into the eligibility criteria, like we were saying before. So yeah, this idea of token engineering, maybe also about public goods. That was also a concept that I feel not everyone knows or not everyone fully understands. So maybe that can also be added there.
All right. Yeah, and while we have you, Griff, I don't know if you can take a moment to look into the grant support page within the Discord. There are 3 projects that we have that are up there that are looking for feedback, and we were kind of I don't know if you have time to kind of look over them, and maybe once you do, kind of give us some feedback on what you think about it in terms of whether they would qualify for token engineering.
Would love to. Grant support page though, I'm having trouble finding it.
It's
I'm going to ping you there. Give a second.
yeah, it's right under community, TE grants, and above TE groups.
One question: Is this Clarity?
This is Notion.
This is Notion. Okay. Can I have the link to this Notion, please?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Okay, I see the 3 active threads. Perfect.
Yeah,
So well, very quickly, just some background. They are a bit tricky because some of them are more like product/protocol thing with some research, and one of them is like just an idea, and so we weren't sure what's the best way to go about that.
Yeah, and I think this might be kind of exemplary of what we might run into in the decisions we have to make in terms of allowing certain projects in or not. And I think they're a good representation of the diversity of it. You know, projects that are just starting that are TE focused, projects that might use TE but are more focused on kind of their own private outcomes, and projects that are public goods but not really token engineering. So it's kind of difficult. But yeah, so
Yeah,
is-
very interesting. So and where do I find what our guidelines were?
I'll link them here in a second, very quickly. Okay. Yep, that's there in the chat here.
Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, I'll check it out during this hour. See if I can come up with something.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have kind of the framework for this Medium article, which I will work on after this meeting. So what we want to do right now is really talk about the Twitter schedule and the tweet content. So what are the the dates for the proposal submissions are open right now. So we have April 12th to what? When does it close again? Isaac? Is it the 24th?
Communications, we want to say 18th.
18th, okay. But they can submit late, right?
But I will is on the first.
Okay. And when does the round actually start?
25.
Okay. Okay. So we want to craft some tweets around this. And Jay Henney, since you're in charge of this Twitter schedule, I'm thinking, are you thinking about like maybe one tweet a day?
So yeah, I definitely was thinking of one tweet a day. And hold on, why can't I get to this? Yeah, I definitely thinking of one tweet a day at obviously at the specified hours. Also, with regards to like the format of the tweet, it definitely has to be a thread. We definitely have to have some type of like picture or graphic or meme or something like that. And then also a call to action. So like you said, whether it's a link to a Medium article or whether it's a link to our Notion landing page, that would be amazing.
Yeah, one thing we can have in mind as well is just to and this is probably going to be more on the fly, but retweet in code tweet Gitcoin stuff, because they already communicating a bunch of the things that apply as well to our. So maybe that's one way to put just a bit less of work and rely a bit on them.
Yeah, and so would you just say that we just need to keep an eye out for Gitcoin's Twitter activities and just kind of retweet and make sure that we're
Yeah, for example, I just retweeted one that has a meme about the Gitcoin passport, and so if we can be like, if we can have an eye out and maybe make like some funny comments on top of, or like funny quote tweets to the things, I think we should be fine for the most part.
okay. So we have links and messaging, the co-tweeting Gitcoin. The next thing that we really need to focus on is setting the dates for the AMAs. I don't know, Isaac, if you have an idea for that in terms of what days you want to do the AMAs and how many you want to do.
Well, the first one is already scheduled in was announced with the thread. So that's next Tuesday at 2 p.m. UTC -4, which is like 6 p.m. UTC, I believe. Yeah. And so that's like a first point of contact, I guess, with everyone on the grants round. Then we can have as many as we want, but initially I was thinking 1 or 2 prior to the round and 3 during the round for, like a spotlight for grantees and things like that.
Okay, so Tuesdays. So, all right. So we'll have one this upcoming Tuesday, and so you want to have how many again? Sorry, 3.
Uh, 1 or 2 now before the round, and then 2 to 3 during the round.
2 to
So,
3 during the round. Okay.
all right. So with with this 1 or 2, it's just basically discussing and talking about what we're doing, how we're facilitating it, and things like that, right? So we're gonna have 2. So yeah, we're gonna have 2. We're gonna have 2 for that. But then would that be within like one day after the other? Are we gonna leave a break? Are we gonna have like one on Tuesday, one on Friday? What would you recommend in terms of like, or how do you feel in terms of like timeframes?
Well, I thought, for example, for the ones prior to the round, that they could be, for example, first one is going to be more general, open questions, probably slightly more focused on grantees. And then the next one, which could be, I don't know, the following week or like, yeah, probably the following week, one week space. That doesn't have to be, can be um, uh, an A, like I'll get your passport up, best practices, what to be in the lookout for, you know.
Okay, so we have one set date on Tuesday, and then we'll have one more before the 18th. Is that correct?
I mean, these are just ideas. We don't have to do that. Probably it's fine if we just have one, but I don't know.
I think we
I
can
think
have at least 2.
okay. So then, if we're gonna have 2 in the wait, so the date of the first one's Tuesday, and then so what are we gonna have one like just are we gonna have one just before the proposal round ends as like a quick like reminder, like hey, just to let you know we're having an AMA about that's been running for the last week. Proposals submission ends, let's say in 2 days time or whatever the case is, and have one like that.
So if we have one on Tuesday, we need to have the AMA promotion on Monday.
Yep.
So I think I don't know if we're going to be able to get another one in before that, unless we do one maybe like tomorrow and do it today, promote it today. But that's up to NT on that one.
So like making another AMA before the one that we have already scheduled.
So it's on the 18th, and that's basically when proposals are. We want the proposals to close, right? So this would be an AMA probably focused around the proposal submissions and projects who are interested in submitting a proposal. And then, we can have another one maybe on, let's see, what's the date there? The 24th or the 25th, which is a
Just
Tuesday again.
just super quickly, just in a parenthesis, I think it would be really helpful for us to create a calendar within Notion, like an internal calendar for us to track all these dates and start adding like the Twitter spaces and everything we need to do. I feel like having it visual representation of the dates and the calendar, that could help us with coordinating all of this.
Yeah, the Twitter post calendar under the comms aspect of it is where I'm looking at right now.
I think that will also help with let's say if I wanted to create like a flow chart with regards to that can go on the landing page, our Lotion landing page, so that people can actually visualize, you know, where things are without having to like come to us and question us. Be like, oh, where are we now? And you say, oh, we're in, you know, step 3 of, you know, the grant, the actual program itself.
Yeah, I would say that maybe besides the Twitter calendar, to create another calendar specifically for the grants program. So we have not just tweets, but like important dates included there. And then we just leave like the Twitter one for actual tweets. I don't know, that's just a suggestion.
Yeah, I think that when looking at if you look at our meetings agenda list for today, at the bottom there's the admin stuff. So kind of like proposal reviews, we need to set dates for that. Like, at what date will we go through and review and approve projects, and kind of bundle them, since we have to bundle them into single transactions rather than have an individual transaction to approve them, each one of them. So I think having set dates and then notifying those projects that they've been accepted into the round or rejected from the round, um, should be as part of that process as well. And then yeah, I think after that we have to have the snapshot time, understanding the boost requirements, and all that good stuff. So I think that having kind of an admin calendar would be really nice to have as well. Let me see if I can create one.
Yeah, I don't know if Isaac is creating one right now, or is that one more for like for the public, Isaac?
Yeah, this one is public. If we want to make another one, we probably want to have it somewhere else.
Yeah, so maybe yeah, like the one you're saying, Nate, that admin one. I think that'd be good. I would create it right now, but I don't have access to Notion.
Okay, but anyways, so one thing we could do is, so this first one, oops, sorry. This first one, AMA, so we could make the communications around it sort of like, hey, this is the last day to apply, so please do so, and we can say live on the, or clarify live on the AMA that people will actually have like 3 days more to apply. So that's the communications for that first one. And then the second one can be sort of preparing donors for the round. And so we can go through the TEC boost, we can go through the passport, we can give some tips and tricks and about what to look for, and maybe even invite, I could probably coordinate with other projects that are running rounds, and maybe we can have like a mega tourist space of I don't know, would be cool.
Are you okay with doing an AMA on just once a week on Tuesdays?
Uh,
Or do you want to do an additional one? Because we have the 18th on Tuesday, we have the 24th the following week, or the 25th the following week, and perhaps we can do one more, or do you want to do like a Tuesday Thursday format?
I think we can probably do them like as needed instead of having a set day. Because for example, the 18th is the one we have said. Then we probably want to have one, the donors, the preparation for donors prior to the 20 to the 25th. So probably like the 20 or 21. And then during the round will depend more on how can we coordinate with the projects so that they can appear and sort of pitch their grants.
Okay, so
Does that make sense?
yeah, so we'll focus the 18th one on the proposals AMA, and then we'll have the donors AMA on that Thursday, so Tuesday and Thursday, and then we can have one more the following week. for
Yeah.
like reviewing the projects, or kind of highlighting them.
Yeah.
So I do think it would be good to kind of have these kind of proposal highlights once all the proposals are up, to kind of just engage with the broader TE community about what projects are out there and what they do for token engineering.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's probably the best time and the best way to highlight those projects and get people sort of on the door to for them to donate.
Okay. And then we'll sprinkle in the proposal submission tweets, as well as the general information tweets and the outreach to donors. Should we be communicating about the TEC boosts um, right now, or should we wait until closer to the donation time?
I mean, we could do that right now, but because we don't have any content at all and we don't have time, we probably want to move like with priorities, and we should prioritize information for grantees right now, and then when we get that out of the way, we can move on to donors. I think that makes a bit sense.
That makes sense. Do you need help making content for the TC boost? Like I could probably do that in just half an hour. Like, you just need some tweets, or do you need like documentation behind it?
I say all.
Anything, quite honestly, because right now I just have these like just a few lines, and yeah, I don't know, probably not enough to make content out of it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly if we're still on board with Angela having like a kind of a whitelist of people that she wanted to make sure they got the boost from, like people who have volunteered to run study groups or completed TE fundamentals, if that was still in discussion.
Weren't you guys talking about doing an airdrop to them of TC?
The airdrop is off.
Yeah.
No airdrop of TEC to various groups?
No.
Probably maybe next time, but because of time and everything, we just.
Huh. Well, I mean, if it's only because of time, I mean, basically, if she got me the addresses, I could airdrop and ask to be reimbursed.
I don't know the exact reasons, but before Gideon left, he said we won't do it, and so we were kind of going with it.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
I think that the issue is that the boost is not going to be automated for us.
Yeah.
So we're just doing this retroactively regardless. So basically, we can just pick and choose the addresses that qualify for the boost.
and
yeah,
that's fair.
And about the whitelist, I don't know if Angela has like a specific addresses and specific people, but we can at any time we can just look at the blockchain and take the certificates and make a snapshot.
Cool. Well, I can make a tweet right now in this half an hour. I reviewed the 3 grants, by the way, and yeah, they all look like no's to me for different reasons, like as you guys were saying. But I asked them questions, and we'll see what they respond.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, and speaking to that responses, is there anything that we need to be more specific about in terms of our eligibility requirements? Because should we be more explicit about saying, does this project advance the field of token engineering? Is that something we should fundamentally have as a core requirement?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think the eligibility requirements say it pretty clearly that it should be a public good and be, focused on education and tooling and research in the TE space.
Okay, cool.
Well, by the way, something we said earlier on the meeting is I'm going to sort of write out one page of talking. How do I know if I'm a token engineering project? Just I don't know, because we said the definition is not that clear and whatever. So if you have any like relevant links, Medium articles or whatever that we can link in there, very much appreciated. I'll probably
Yeah.
link a bunch of Sargum and Trend stuff, but
Yeah, definitely the flower. I'm sure that there's some Sherman articles as well that are pretty good.
Yeah, do you know of a really good example of a token engineering grant that has been funded previously that we can use as kind of an example for other submitters to kind of
Ooh,
compare?
no, I don't.
Okay.
I do not. I don't think that there is any token there. Am not aware of any specific token engineering funds besides us.
Okay.
but
Um,
you meant, Nate? You meant like another fund or another grant
Yeah, it could be
application?
another fun. I think it's just seeing a proposal that is actually a token engineering proposal, and saying, hey, does this look anything like what you're doing? Can be
I
really
mean,
helpful.
I think the one I shared before on conviction voting, like the collaboration between block science and One Hive, I
Oh,
think
the
that's,
CAD one.
yeah, I
Okay.
think that's probably one of the best examples. Like that's pure research on mechanism, on token mechanisms.
Okay. And since we're gonna probably get a lot of these proposals that are not, unless they really refocus their perspective on token engineering, aren't going to be qualified. We might want to think about actually, doing some proposal outreach to token engineering firms and projects that we do know of to apply for this round.
Yeah, I did message um Angela, of course. I also DM'd Chris from CAD. Does anybody here has any contact with whoever is sort of in charge of Token Spice? I don't know if maybe probably Trent, but I don't know if there's someone else who may be less busy.
I can at least just DM Trent.
That'd be nice. Thanks.
See if there's anybody in the ecosystem. Yeah.
Because CAD and Token Spice are two that I really want to see in there, So even if we have to write the grant ourselves, I'm up to do it. I just need some permission and maybe just information. I also reached out to Chris Paruch from T Labs. He hasn't replied yet, and the tokenomics DAO as well. 'Cause
Nice.
they have like some private stuff, but they do a lot of public educations things. So why not?
And how do people apply?
The same way as any other grant round. So I'm going to send you the links.
Yeah,
And
you can put them in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm so unprepared.
No,
no, that's totally fine.
I need to see those links as well because I would like to, if anyone asks or even just creating content around it would help if I know actually how it's
Actually,
actually done.
instead of sending all the links, I'll just send the application guide, which should be complete. But if anything, just give it a look and let me know if I have to add something else.
And Joseph, after the reputations, I don't know if you're available tomorrow after the reputations group to kind of just hammer down this Twitter schedule. And then the only thing I think we have left is kind of that admin calendar for us to bundle. Do we just want to do one review session?
So what I'll probably do, just for the sake of simplicity and so that we can use this for other things, let's have a calendar here within project section. So the task is in the calendar, and between, I don't know, whoever wants to help out can add tasks here. So round opening done was due today. Let me add that here. Yeah, I'll keep adding that. So this is May. That's assigned to me, and that's for the 18th. And so we should be able to see everything in, because right now we are just working on this project. It's pretty much going to be a calendar for this project, but it's going to be useful for other ones as well.
In in this calendar, can we also put like closing dates for each round as well, please?
Yeah. So you just have to add the end date here, or even include time if you want. Or which one do you want to? I can do this. This was announced today and ends on the 18th. So it's like, yep. Say this is project now, tags, content. Well, let's go back here very quickly. So, okay, so action items for today, because we have quite a few things. I'm going to second. Okay. Well, I'm going to work on the how to know if T page. I'm going to also include all dates on project. What else? More or less, when do you plan to have the Medium article made?
Today.
Okay.
But what we really need to see, I don't know, put this up on these tweet categories. Maybe somebody, if you want to put your name in parentheses around something you feel like the home, or just create a crafting, template for these tweets. That would be a good start as well.
I'm probably going to add both Marathon Might and Joseph to this, if that's okay, of course.
And are you guys using ChatGPT to write tweets at all?
No, but we could.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, this shit is fucking fire. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm like, I'll write a tweet in half an hour about this. It'll be great. Because, and if you join the OpenAI group, you can get ChatGPT, if you're not already paying for ChatGPT, which ChatGPT 4 is just so much better than 3.5 that it's like, it's worth the $20 a month. But if you don't want to pay $20 a month and you want to play with it, you can also join the AI chat room that we have in the Give Galaxy, and there are some just posted there that you can use. So, and I just can't tell you, it's just such a game changer. Let's see.
Yeah, actually, we are not paying for it right now, but Notion has one too. And I did a bunch of the portal thing with the AI. I just told him write me a dispute process for a grants round, and it did
Nice.
like
But
the work.
the Notion one is good, but it's still, I think it's either 3 or 3.5, and it's good. It's pretty good, but I'm
But
telling you,
it's not the 4.
the 4, man, the 4 is like, AI was cool and all, and now it's like, oh, we're fucked. That it's that kind of level where it's like, oh, we don't need humans anymore. It's like you have like in your pocket a super genius that it doesn't always understand exactly what you mean, but once you tell it what you want, and if you like, maybe it takes you 3 or 4 tries to talk to him, dude, he's fucking done. So, or she, I guess she. Yeah, but be polite to ChatGPT 4 because they will be our overlords here.
I don't doubt so. Other very quick question, but maybe Nate and Bear, we can talk about that later. Do we want to set the dates now to or like set some time in our calendars from now to have some time to review grants, or we can definitely do that later on?
Yeah, it just depends on how many we got going on, because I think maybe we should have kind of a daily review. Say like each morning we kind of meet up for like 10-15 minutes and then just see what we have on the board or whatever's proposed and kind of review it daily, and then reach out to those projects if there's more information that's needed or whatever main action items that exist.
Okay, yeah, well, let's do that later.
Yeah.
I have another one for you though. Well, go ahead. Finish this conversation. It's a change of topic.
Were you going to say something, Bear?
You said that it sounds good to me.
Okay. Anyone has anything else, or if not, I can pass it over to you.
Yeah, I was just wondering what Acid Laser's role is these days.
He has moved
Um,
I understand, but
Yeah.
So who's really managing the Twitter right now?
Joseph is in transition and he is managing it at the moment.
Nice. So we have like a Twitter for good chat. Maybe should I boot Acid Laser and add you so that when these tweets come out, you can post them to us and we can boost?
Yeah. Definitely.
Cool.
Because Acid Laser is not doing anything anymore, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, he's helping out with designs, but no more than that.
Cool. Then
Yeah, so
I think
it
we
does
just need to
might
be.
a kind of
We
a
need, yeah, we need to become
what
friends.
it is. Yeah.
So let me
No
message-
problem at all, man. I'm here with open arms.
Sorry, say that again.
I said I'm here, man. I'm here with open arms and edibles. So whenever you're ready.
Oh, edibles too. Hell yeah. Sign me up. I just send you a friend request. Accept my friend request, and then I'll throw you in the Twitter for Good channel.
No problem at all.
Well, quick recap again. So I'm going to work on everything that's left about documentation. I'm going to add all the communication stuff and some other things to the project, which is a bit outdated to be honest. Nate, you're going to work on the article and have it not I guess not published, but send a draft today.
Yep.
And then Martha, mine, Joseph, just we keep working on the content and stuff. Um, are we missing anything? Is there anything important? Uh, nope. I guess nope. Okay.
Just very quickly. Sorry, Isaac.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess you would be adding like this admin stuff for Nate, you and I to review the applications as part of the project, I guess, in tasks. And the other thing I was gonna add, I know this is probably not really fun for everybody, but I kept working on costing for the project. So maybe this is something that you and I, Isaac, can work a little bit through it more, and then we can share it with the team. But that's for people to know that I've been working on that as well, and I'll continue on it.
Okay. Okay. Is well, let's leave it like that. Well, yeah. Um. Okay. Just a quick check, see if there's anything left. But seems like not. So yeah, we have 10 minutes left. If I'll open it up again. If not, we can go and I'll see you guys next week. Oh well, I have one question for you, Griff, but just very quickly. I'm DMing Angela and a few other people to make private DM group to send over these tricky proposals, or if for these things
Oh, that's
for
great.
feedback. Is that fine?
Yeah, please. Just a Discord, right?
Yeah.
Great. I'm not, it takes me time to catch up to my DMs sometimes. Over the weekend, I'll be good, but then Mondays and Tuesdays, just a warning, it might get lost, man. So, forgive me if I'm slow to reply.
No worries. I know everyone I'm DMing is like fairly busy, so we're going to try to keep all the requests just for the most critical thing, or like the things where we definitely don't have any idea how to go to. So hopefully we won't use that chat much, but yeah. You wanted to say something, Joseph?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm going to count 5, and if not, we can go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. It was a nice session, and see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, Isaac. Really appreciate it.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Later, Griff.